All right, team, welcome back. My name is Andrea, and I'm just going to dive into my background and we'll talk about that a little bit more. And then I'm going to read you the letter that I got from the unemployment office and kind of touch on all of that stuff again, just in case you missed it. So, my background, I'm 40 years old. I'll be 41 on Halloween. My birthday's on Halloween. I'm a Scorpio. And so, I started my career when I was 18 out of high school. I had jobs throughout high school, but I got my first real big girl job at the Arizona Department of Economic Security. I worked there for a little over 6 years. I got my start in law enforcement, which was awesome, to be honest, but I'll talk to you guys more about that stuff later. Because for a minute, I really did want to go into law enforcement. I wanted to work for the FBI. I wanted to do a job that held people accountable. And now, as your chief accountability officer, I'm doing that in just other ways. But I also planned a career going down that road. But sometimes life takes you where it just needs to take you. So after that little, I worked on a task force with law enforcement that had people from all the different types of law enforcement, the sheriff's department. There was narc detectives on that task force. There, everybody, all kinds of stuff, and I learned a lot. And I learned a lot about people and working as a team in that role as well. Over the course of the 6 years that I worked at DES, I also got my start into learning and development, training, employee relations, investigating, and also project management. And all of that experience, I think, made me a better person, a better, well-rounded person, taught me how to communicate and be a team player and how to document when things like this happen with teams like the Phoenix Suns and Mercury that I'm currently in litigation with. After DES, I went on, I got my bachelor's degree while I was working at DES. I worked full-time. I went to school full-time. It was very hard. But I always had really amazing leaders who, when I showed them my schedules of the classes that I wanted to take, they were so supportive, which I wish there were more supportive leaders out here in the workforce, but hopefully in the future there will be. And they always let me do these different flex schedules. So if I had a class at 7 a.m., 8 a.m., 9 a.m., I could start work at 10:30 and just finish my 8 hours of the day. So once I got my bachelor's degree, I moved on to R. Donnelly, where I started off as a proofreader, moved into being a copy editor, and then also at R. Donnelly had another great leader who saw my potential, and I got more experience in learning and development, and I helped them curate their learning and development library, and that's where I kind of got my start in training, documents, and writing SOPs, standard operating procedures. So I was at R. Donnelly for about 2 years, and then I met my husband, and we started dating, and he always thought I should be a teacher. His mom thought I should be a teacher too, but we'll talk about his mom some other time. And after that, I was like, you know what? There is a literacy crisis out here in Phoenix. Let me go use my talent and skill set to go teach. And when I say teaching was one of the most rewarding yet challenging things I've ever done in my entire life, oh my gosh. The students sometimes were my nightmare, but then other times I had students that showed me why young people need guidance, why young people need someone to listen to them and advocate for them. So being a teacher really taught me how to advocate. And I was a teacher for 6 years. I taught 7th and 8th grade for 2 years. And then I went to the high school level and taught sophomore English, junior English. And I think I had freshmen for like a year. And I was like, never again. No, shout out to the high school kids. And then after that, got back into the corporate career where I went into business operations and learning and development, started in learning and development, was there for about 2 years, then moved into a manager role. And I was in that role for 2 years, working in business operations. And that is where I got my start in DEI, because after I got my promotion, leadership at that company approached me about doing DE&I. I said yes. And I continued to level up and learn a lot more things. And after that, I went and got the job with the Phoenix Suns and Mercury as their head of DE&I, and that is where the next episode will start. And I hope to see you there. Talk to you soon. Bye.